Welcome to Mooney Reads, and welcome to another year of Mooney Reads. In this video, I'm going to be doing the Booktube Birthday Tag. I posted my first video on February 22nd of 2020. It's currently the 16th, but I figured it'll be close to that time. It's also near my birthday. My birthday is on the 18th, and I will hopefully be having a vlog come out before the end of the month, or at least before the end of March. That kind of goes along with my birthday. But I've been doing this tag each year, so I think this will be my third time doing it, if I have my math right. I double checked. It is my third time doing it because I didn't do it last year, but I did do it the 2 years previous, so we're here now. The first question is, how many years on Booktube are you celebrating? That would be 4. This is my 4th year, assuming my math is right, but I started in 2020, so it really should be. Question number 2 is, what has kept you motivated to continue making videos? I like doing it. Yeah, at this point, I just like it. I have a fun time being able to put stuff together. I think this is probably my favorite medium. I do really like Bookstagram, so, you know, this is more, I think, time intensive, but I really do enjoy it. And as much as I've got like TikTok, but I think that the long form kind of gives me more options, and I've really would like to be more into it than I have been this past year. But yeah, it's a good time. I've found other cool people and other really good book recommendations through here. So, yeah. Question number 4 is, what are 3 of your favorite videos that you've made in the past year and why? And this one is a little hard to answer because, like I said, this past year I didn't do nearly as many videos as I usually do. I remember having a really good time making some of my reading vlogs. Like the Trans Rights Readathon vlog was really cool. Nonfiction November reading vlog. I'm also currently in the middle of a vlog, so I think I just like that process, generally speaking. I do worry because they tend to be the longer ones, and sometimes I get in my head about that because it's like I feel like they're too long or people don't like them or something, but I sure do enjoy them. So, Trans Rights Readathon vlog, Nonfiction November vlog, and then also my audiobook favorites video. Because I'd recently read some super good audiobooks, and it was really nice to kind of reflect on these other ones and also remember some good things that I ought to reread. Then question number 4, what have you struggled with on Booktube over the past year, and how did you overcome that struggle? I mean, I didn't put out as much as I would have liked to, but that's, I think, less of a Booktube thing and more of just shit in my life started to happen a lot thing. I mean, before then I had made fewer just because it's kind of time intensive and I'm like readjusting, and also this used to be more of like an escapism thing for me, and now it's not. So I'm not cramming in every second that I have into this because of that, because I like being present. But this past year has been really difficult. My stepdad passed away in April, and then I had my cat pass away a couple of months later, and it was just hard, just overall. So that's not really an issue with Booktube, and there's no thing to overcome. It's, I don't know, that's been what the deal has been and what the biggest struggle has been, though. So I would really like to get back in it and find a balance that's good for me. So I think that's going to be one of, I guess, the focuses with kind of this stuff over the next year. Question number 5 is, choose one moment from the past year on Booktube that you would love to relive. The Trans Rights Readathon. definitely that was a really cool experience. It was hosted by Sim, Kern, I think primarily on Book Talk, but I talked about it all of the places that I'm on and in like a book capacity. That one, it was a fundraiser and a readathon, but it was like a decentralized fundraiser. So you basically dedicate to giving money towards whatever organization or people. I chose to give to My Sister's House, which is an organization focused on housing trans people of color in, I believe, the Nashville area, definitely in Tennessee. And it was really cool to see all of the other places that people were supporting and all of the really cool trans books. I read one of my favorite books of that year during that vlog, and started the other one that kind of were both first place. So yeah, that is the sort of thing I would definitely like to relive. Number 6, shout out to a huge supporter of your channel. My biggest supporter is definitely my partner. Even though we live together and half the time they see the stuff as I'm filming it, they still watch the videos and go out of their way to tell me that they watch them and are always very supportive. I would say also, Kathy. I have collaborated with Kathy for the Rent Readathon. She's also brought me in as a guest host on the Queer Lit Readathon, which is a readathon that she regularly runs with Rogan. There are a couple of other folks that I also interact with regularly. I don't know, I might put a couple of people down in the place where links are, but that's who comes to mind at first. Question number 7 is, what is the best book that you've read in the past year? That's a hard question. I have a couple of things that I know are my favorite of 2023, but the years for this, it's like February to February. So I'm gonna take a look at the things that I've read and get back. Okay, so all 3 books that I considered number 1 of 2023, I did read within the past year. I didn't read any of those in January. So that's going to be The Skin in Its Girl by Sarah Cypher, which is a book about a Palestinian American woman who is at the grave of her great aunt, who's one of the women who raised her, basically. And she's recounting her story and the story of the 3 different women who raised her: her mom, her grandmother, and her great aunt, as she's trying to make this big decision. This is a sapphic book that goes kind of back and forth through these folk stories. It incorporates history. It also incorporates this mythology. So there's a lot of fluidity between kind of fact and fiction, and also through time. And that kind of increases as the story goes on. It was so good, and I didn't know too much about it. I basically picked it up because it had been on a few of the queer Palestinian lists that I've seen going around, and it absolutely blew my mind. If you have Spotify Premium, it's available on there, and maybe it's in your local library. Go check, and if it's not, ask for it or go buy a copy or something. So that was my favorite fiction novel of last year. Highly recommend it. Definitely check it out, and I'll try to include lists of other Palestinian books that I found helpful or found recommendations from. And if you haven't already today, take a minute to call or email your representatives to demand a ceasefire for Palestine. If you're at all on the same corner of the internet that I am, at this point you should know about what's going on over there. And if you don't, I've been including links to more information over the past while, so definitely click in, learn more, and do what you can. And then my 2 favorite nonfictions, because I could not pick which one was the best, were Transgender Warriors by Leslie Fienberg and The Big Reveal by Sasha Velour. I got to read both of these kind of overlapping or practically back to back. They both focus on queer history, and they both have memoir elements from Jewish trans people, but they are slightly different in focus. So first of all, Transgender Warriors is focused on trans history. The Big Reveal is focused on the history of drag or gender nonconformity more broadly. So you can see where there would be a lot of overlap, but there is some distinction. There's also, I think, a little bit more of a focus on certain things in more contemporary history, like in Sasha Velour's book, and that she kind of focuses on certain drag performers that don't get mentioned in the other book. And that's what was great about reading them together, is that some of them go over history that another one doesn't. There is a lot of overlap, but there's also a lot of new. And Sasha also goes more into kind of talking about culture, and there's an art criticism component, whereas Leslie Fienberg's is much more very explicitly political. Like, it's very much like, you know, Sasha's is a manifesto of drag, of art. Leslie's is very much a political manifesto. They also both have memoir elements that are kind of different. Leslie's focuses more on their kind of introduction into queer history and class consciousness, and Sasha's does take up more of the book, although her book is also longer. So we get more memoir elements, and she gets to talk about her aunt, who is very encouraging of her sort of like dressing up and things like that, and kind of her family history in that way, as well as her introduction to drag and all of that. These are both just absolutely excellent, beautiful companions to each other, especially since they were also released at very different times. Transgender Warriors was released in the late 90s, and The Big Reveal, I think, was a 2023 release. So, excellent, beautiful, cannot recommend them enough. Where do you see your channel in a year's time, and what do you hope to have achieved? I don't know. I don't have any grand, like, huge plans. I hope to continue doing videos, do more videos than last year, keep updated on things like the kind of DIY class nonfiction thing that I'm doing, continue to do more vlogs. I don't know. I don't have any huge plans. I just want to vibe and read good books and post the stuff that I like about them. And the final question is to tag someone whose anniversary is coming up. And I don't know people's anniversaries like that. The only reason I really know mine that well is because it's around the same time as my actual birthday. So anyone who wants to do this should absolutely. If your book birthday is coming up, tell me about it in the comments and do the video, and it will be cool. But that is about all that I have for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.